Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this. All right, so I've already done a tutorial for it. I made this up as I went. Am I particularly happy with it? Not really. Now I'm going to tell you some things that you can do different than I did. So this involves carrying yarn along because you got to switch colors all the time, constantly. So this isn't a complete square. It's actually, which is I'm pretty not happy about it, but it's about 7.5, I think, by 8.5. Yes, so that's not really cool for me. So you got like a rectangle here. But what you can do to hopefully fix that is you might be able to block it a little bit on the sides to maybe, stretch it out a bit more. And another thing that you can do is when you're carrying your 2 strands of yarn with you, keep them, don't pull them so tight at the end of the rows. I think that was my downfall. I kept tugging them tight at the end of the rows because I didn't really want to be able to see them that well, although I knew that you would be able to see the colors through because I'm using white. But I tried to make them as invisible as possible. So in the end, it kind of tightened up the sides when I was pulling on them. So as you're following along with me, you're going to hear me say, make sure your rows are tight, pull these strings. Don't pull them as tight as I did, because that made them go in, which in turn made it a rectangle and not a square, which I'm not happy about. But it is what it is. I did the best that I could, and that's all I can do, is the best that I could do. Remember though, I think that if you don't pull your yarn that you're carrying along so tight, at the end it won't shrink in like mine did. And also you don't have to carry 2 yarns at once. I carry 2 yarns at once to show you how to make your ribbon 2 different colors, because I know some ribbons call for 2 different colors. Now if you only want to make the background different in your ribbon one color, you're only going to have to carry 1 color, which would be a lot easier and it'll probably make it more square. But just remember, at the end of the rows, try not to pull your yarn that you're carrying too tight. Otherwise it shrinks it in and it becomes a rectangle like mine. 7.5 by 8.5. I do apologize for that, but I did do my best and I did make it up as I went. So anyways, and like I said, I do have this one, which is square. It's 7 by 7. So it's completely solid. Because I used 1 color. I have a tutorial for this as well. You can make it in any color you want. I only did my pink because it is at the making of it, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And my aunt did pass away from breast cancer. It's also a lot of other things. It's like Domestic Violence Month. It's which would be purple. It's this one right here is infant loss, so it's also the month of October. So this one is half blue and half pink. You can use this for any month of the year. It doesn't just have to be October. It's just like I said, it's October right now. So I do think this one turned out better than this one, only because I stretched my yarn too much and it became a rectangle. If it wouldn't have became a rectangle, I would like it a lot more. I know I don't block anything, but I think that I'm going to put this on the blocking board and stretch these sides out to make it a square. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to wet this all down, block it down, pin it down to where it equals the same width as it does the length. And I'm going to make it a square so it being a rectangle is fine. You can still use it, for blankets or whatnot. But I would have preferred it turned out a square. But like I'm saying, I told you what I did wrong. Hopefully you can rectify that as you're making it. But I just made it as I went, and that's what happened. So I look forward to seeing yours. I'm certain yours will be better than mine. And please remember, even though this is by far one of my worst pieces I've ever made because it's not square, I do have a tutorial, remember, in the description box in the comment section for one that is a bit more square. Well, actually it is perfectly square. All right, let's talk about the yarn. The background color I'm using Hirschner's worsted with yarn, which is 100% acrylic 4-way in white. So that would be the background for this particular one. It's ivory actually. And then I'm going to be using it in the same brand in blue, Stonewash, light blue. And then I'm going to be using Joann's Big Twist, which is also a 4-weight acrylic, pink, light pink or something, medium rose. So I'm going to be making this white with a ribbon split pink and blue for infant loss. It's a ribbon for infant loss, which is also the month of October, which at the making of this video, I think it's October 7th or something. Anyways, and I'm going to be using a size H, which is a 5mm crochet hook. So remember, we're going to be carrying a lot of yarn. But first I'm going to start off with what would be your main color background, which for me is white. So I'm going to lay something down here so you can actually, since my background is so bright, so you can actually see the white that I'm using. Right, this is all I had to put down. It's a tutorial I'm working on. So never mind this. This is this so you can see the white better. Okay, so start off. I'm just going to start off with my white first. So you want to start off with a chain of 25. And then we're going to do a single crochet in the second stitch from our hook. So we don't count the one that's on our hook. Second one over. Here's 1 and 2. And then row 1, we're just going to be putting 1 single crochet in every stitch for the length of the chain. Sorry, my hands are shaky. Not sure why. But anyways, just continue putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. And I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. And then that's where we're going to have to attach the other yarns that we're going to be carrying with us. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of row 1 and I have not went through the last stitch yet. All right. So I need to tie on, leave that last stitch empty for now. And I need to tie on my other colors. I'm not a huge fan of working with multiple colors at the same time, but we're going to do it, okay? And I'm winging this, so bear with me, please. So this time, if you're making your ribbon with 2 colors, you want to add the 2 colors that you're going to be using with your white, or the background color. But if you're only using the background color and then you want your ribbon to be solid, you'll only have to carry the background color and the solid. But since I'm splitting the ribbon, I got to add 2 colors. Now this part's going to be a little tricky. I want to get these 2 colors in here and with my white. So what I'm going to do is take the tails, the tail of the white and the tails of these 2 right here and tie a little knot. That way I know, hey, these are the tails. I don't need to mess with them. And then later we can, hide them. Or not hide them, but yeah, crochet them in. Just tie them a little knot here. It's not going to look pretty, but we'll hide. Don't worry, I promise we'll hide them later. You just got to get them going and get them together. And we can hide that big knot later. Alright, so I got my colors tied together. Go ahead and go into that last stitch and just do a single crochet with your white. So now you have 24 stitches. 24 stitches is what you will have in every row from now on, unless I say different. Alright, so we're going to start row 2. And we're going to start with the white, which means we have to carry these 2 colors with us. They're not going to be invisible. I mean, you're still probably going to see them a little bit through the white, but that's just the way it goes. So we're going to start off by doing a single crochet into the first 6 stitches, but we're going to stop on the 6th one and change colors. So the chain one that I just did, it doesn't count as a stitch. It doesn't count as anything for here or for the rest of the pattern. So we go into the very first stitch, and to carry these 2 colors here, we have to make sure we single crochet them in as we go. So there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4, gotta pull them as you go. Here's 5, and now we need to do one more single crochet. Okay, so I made it to my 6th one, and we need to change colors here. So I'm going to go in and yarn over, and I'm going to bring up the white like that. See that? But now I'm going to drop the white, and you bring up whatever color you want to use next. I'm just going to grab this pink and pull it through the remaining 2 loops, and that will be a single crochet. But now we have where we can start with, pull that tight there, we can start with the pink. So the next stitch is going to be a bobble. So now I'm carrying the white and blue now. So we're going to do a bobble into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over. Make sure you grab those 2 colors that you're carrying. They always have to be hidden. And draw up a loop, and I'm going to yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook. Now I want to do that 4 times total. That would be number 1. I'm going to yarn over, go in, still making sure I got the yarns that I'm carrying on my hook, drop a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. That's 2 times. Again, I'm going to yarn over, go in, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. That's 3 times. One more time, we're going to yarn over, go into the same spot, draw up a loop. We're going to yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on our hook like that, and you can see that we have 5 loops that remain. So what we just did was a double crochet 4 together. Now we're going to drop the pink, and I want to bring back my white, and I'm going to pull it through the remaining of 5 loops on my hook like that. Pull that tight, and now I'm going to do, carrying these 2 pieces of yarn along with me, a single crochet into the next 10, but I'm going to change colors on the 10th one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can pull these as you go to tighten them up. Like I said, you're probably still going to be able to see them on the other side. That's just kind of the way it goes, because I'm working with when you carry yarns, sometimes that's just the way it goes. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is 6, 7, 8, 9. And now we need to switch colors on the 10th one, and I'm going to be switching to blue this time because I just did pink last time. So I'm going to go into the 10th stitch, and drop a loop. I'm going to drop my white yarn and bring up my blue now. And now I'm going to be carrying my pink and white. And I'm going to yarn over and go grab the blue and pull it through those loops. So you've done 10 single crochets there in a row, and you changed colors here. So now we have to do a bobble into the next stitch. So we have to make sure that the pink and the white that I'm using are underneath the bobble, and we do the bobble the same way. We're doing it with the blue, so we're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, go under those yarns that you're carrying, and draw up a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2. And we're going to do that 4 times. Again, yarn over, make sure you're going through those 2 yarns that you're carrying, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. That's twice. Again, yarn over, same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. One more time, we're going to yarn over and go through the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. You got 5 loops. I'm going to drop that blue, and I'm going to bring up my white, The worst part about working with different yarns is they always tingle on me. So let me get them untangled a bit if I can. Sorry. Okay. And then we're going to pull the white through. And remember to keep carrying these 2 colors. So you got your 5 loops there. Go ahead and pull your white through. Give it a tug. And you should have 6 stitches that remain. Go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 6, carrying your 2 colors with you, which my colors are pink and blue. So there's 1, 2, and when you're carrying colors, it's just like hiding them when you single crochet. You just cover them up with a single crochet. 3, 4, and there's 5, and the last one is 6. All right, so we made it through that. And like I said, you're probably going to be able to see the colors on the other side. It's kind of just how it has to be, I guess, because of the color choices that I chose. All right, so now we're going to start row 3, and I'm going to be working it in all white. But I still have to carry my 2 colors with me because I'm going to need them when I get back to the other end. So I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn. I'm going to grab my 2 colors, my pink and blue for me, and I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch across, carrying my pink and blue until I get to my starting point. So this is row 3. Every time you do an odd number row, it's always just 1 single crochet in every stitch. It's also the front side of your work. Every time you do an even number row, that's the back side, and that's when we do the bobbles. All right, so I'm just going to carry my 2 colors, and I'm going to be working 1 single crochet in every stitch. Remember, I'm carrying my 2 colors of yarn with me as I go. Always make sure to get to, so we're not switching any yarn colors on this row. We'll never switch the yarn color on the front row. Make sure you get this single crochet that's next to the bobble because it hides, and there's always a stitch on top of the bobble that you got to go through and make a single crochet, and then you just continue carrying your yarn along with you, making 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get to the end of row 3. So kind of like that. All right, so I made it to the end of row 3. So if you're splitting your ribbon, you just have to remember what side that you changed colors on. So we'll go ahead and start row 4, and remember we're going to be starting with white, but we do have to carry our other 2 colors along with us as we go. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn our work, and I'm going to push those other colors over to the front so I can carry them with us. It's okay if the edges don't look great. We'll take care of those later with some single crochet. Single crochet can work magic in hiding up any crooked ends or any hiding edges or hiding tails. All right, so now we need to do a single crochet into the first 7, but on the 7th one we're going to change colors. So I'm going to continue. Remember to carry your 2 colors or your 1 if you're carrying 1 with you. So there's 1, 2, 3. You can pull them as you go. 4, 5, 6. Now the 7th one, I'm going to change colors, and you can see there's a pink bobble here, so I got to switch to pink here. So I'm going to go in with my white and drop a loop. I'm going to drop my white and grab my pink and pull it through those 2 loops. like that. So we have now 7 single crochets that we did. You can tug on that white to make it tighter. Now we have to make sure that we hide these tails, because we're going to make a bobble now. We're going to make a bobble into the next stitch. Same way we did before. We're going to yarn over, go into it, make sure, for my colors I have white and blue. So I'm going to make sure that I hide them underneath the bobble. I'm going to draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. Do that 4 times just like before. Yarn over, go through the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, that's 2 times. Yarn over and go through the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. I'm going to tug on my tails there. And one more time, yarn over and go through the same stitch, draw up a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2. You can see that you have 5 loops. I'm going to drop the pink and switch back to white. And the white is what I'm going to pull through all those 5 loops. So I'm back down to my pink and blue that I got to carry along with me. Go ahead and pull your white through like that. Give it a tug. And now we're going to do a single crochet into the next 8. But the 8th one we're going to change colors on. So go ahead and continue carrying along your colors that you are carrying, and there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the next one, the 8th one, I'm going to switch colors and I'm going to do blue since I have blue here. 7 on my 8th one. Okay. So I'm going to go into the 8th one, drop a loop with my white. I'm going to drop my white and pull my blue through. Just like that. So I now have 8 single crochets in a row. And now we're going to do a bobble into the next stitch. So remember to hide your 2 yarns that you're carrying, or 1 if you're only using 1 color, and do our bobble into the next stitch just like we always do the bobble, the same way, which is a double crochet 4 together. Okay, you can see I have 5 loops. I'm going to drop my blue and I'm going to grab my white and pull it through those 5 loops. And I'm going to give it a tug, and I should have 7 stitches that remain. So I'm going to go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 7. So there's 1. Remember to carry your colors with you at all times. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 and 7. So with following along with the 2 colors, you should always be carrying 2 colors, no matter which 2 colors they are. You should always be carrying them with you. But if you're making your ribbon one solid, the background one color and your ribbon one color, you will be carrying 1 color with you at all times. All right, so that was the end of a row of 4. So let's go and start row 5. I'm going to chain 1 with my white and turn my work. Now remember, this row is all white, but I still have to carry my 2 colors with me. So I'm going to be single crocheting in every stitch, but I'm going to be carrying my pink and blue with me to the other side. So remember, single crochet in every stitch. You can tug on those a little bit. And make sure you put the single crochet on top of each of the bobbles. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of row 5. Remember, front side of the work is always your solid color or the background color of your ribbon. Don't forget the one that's right, the single crochet that's right in front of the bobble. And the one that's on the stitch on top of the bobble. We got to get that one. And just continue along. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of row 5. Alright, I made it to the end of row 5. Let's go ahead and start row 6. So this is our bobble stitch row. So I will chain 1 with my white and turn my work, and I have to carry my 2 colors with me. And this time I'm going to do a single crochet into the next 8, but on the 8th one I will be switching colors. Make sure you grab your yarns that you're carrying. They always got to tag along. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can tighten them up as you go. 5, 6, 7, and on the 8th one, I'm sorry, we're going to switch colors here on the 8th one, and you can see I did pink before, so I need to do pink again. So on my 8th single crochet, I'm going to go in and draw up my white, drop the white, and pull the pink up so I can make a bobble with it. So just go ahead and pull it through those 2 loops. Now you can tighten your white down, pull on it. So now you got your pink on your hook to make a bobble, and you want to make the bobble and you want to hide that white and blue tail this time. So we're going to make a bobble into the next stitch the same way we always do, which is a double crochet 4 together. I am hiding my 2 colors underneath my bobble. Okay, you can see I have 5 loops on my hook. I am going to drop my pink, grab my white back up, and pull the white through all 5 of those loops. Give it a tug. Now I'm going to do a single crochet, carrying my 2 yarns as always. Remember, they always have to tag along into the next 6 stitches, but on the 6th one we're going to switch colors. So single crochet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's switch colors here on the 6th one. So we're going to go to blue this time. So go ahead and put your yarn through and pull up your white, drop your white, grab your blue, pull it through. Now you got your 2 colors down here, and we're going to make a bobble, but we're going to hide those 2 colors under the bobble into the next stitch. So bobble's always the same. Remember, double crochet 4 together like I showed you in the beginning. Five loops, drop that blue, and pull up your white, and that will go through the 5 loops on your hook. Pull it tight like that, and you should have 8 stitches that remain, which I do. So carrying along your 2 colors, we're going to single crochet in the remaining 8. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there is 8. All right, so that's what it's kind of starting to look like. So that was the end of row 6. So now we're going to start row 7, which will be the front side of our work, which we will only be using white. But remember, we still always have to carry our straggler 2 colors. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. Throw those to the front there. Pull them tight though, so you can't really see them that well, but they still are going to be a little visible because I chose to use white, but that's okay. And remember, don't worry about any colors that might be showing on the ends. We'll take care of that with single crochet later. So pull them to the front, and it's 1 single crochet into every stitch. Until you make it to the end of the row. Remember to get on top of each bobble as well. We're not switching colors. We never switch colors on the front of our work. All right, so I'll meet you at the end of row 7, all right? All right, so I made it to the end of row 7. I'm sorry my video is moving a little slow. So we're going to start row 8, so we're going to have to do the bobble stitch row again. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and we're going to grab our 2 colors that we're carrying. Bring them around, bring them along with us. Now we're going to single crochet into the next 9, but on the 9th one we have to switch colors. So let's just begin. Make sure you're carrying your stragglers along. That's what I call them. They're just stragglers, although we do use them. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we got to switch colors on the 9th one. So we're going to go through the 9th one with the white, pull it back through. I'm going to drop the white, and I'm going to start with pink because you can see that I have pink right below me, and pull my pink through. It's really not as difficult as I'm making it look. I don't like carrying colors. That's my only, okay, that's white, but looking hard for me. All right, tug that white down there. And now you're ready to make a bobble into the next stitch with the pink. And remember to hide the blue and the white, or whatever colors you're using, underneath your bobble. So in the next stitch, go ahead and bobble like we've been doing. And then you should have 5 loops that remain. Drop that color. I'm going to pick up my main background color, which is white, and pull it through those 5 loops that are on my hook. Like that. Give it a tug. Now we are going to single crochet into the next 4, but on the 4th one we are going to change colors. So get your carry alongs here. Oh, I didn't go through both loops on that one. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to switch colors on the 4th. I'm going to switch to blue, so I'm going to pull my white through like that, drop it, grab my blue, pull it through those 2 loops, tighten that white down. Okay, and then I'm going to hide this pink and white under the bobble, which goes into the next stitch. So we're going to bobble with the blue into the next stitch. Oh my, we don't want all those. Let's see, there's 3, this would be 4. I got 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to drop blue, bring my main color white up, and I'm going to pull it through the 5 loops on my hook. Give it a tug, and you should have 9 stitches that remain, and go ahead and single crochet into remaining 9. Carrying your 2 yarns with you. You pull them as you go. All right, there's 9. Okay, that ends row 8. And like I said, don't worry about the corners being a little jaggedy and stuff. We'll take care of that, okay? You know, they're gonna look kind of funny because you're carrying a lot of yarn, and that you know, that's normal. And I promise we'll straighten it all out. We got it. We got it. So now we're gonna start row 9, which is the front side of our work. So we're gonna chain 1 and turn. We're gonna be using the all white on the front here. I'm gonna pull that pink through and try to get it all straightened up. There we go. Okay, but we got to carry our 2 colors across because we're gonna need them at the other side. So for row 9, since you're on the front side, remember we're just using our main color. We're not changing colors here. It's just 1 single crochet in every stitch and 1 on each of the bobbles, carrying your 2 colors with you, and I'll meet up with you at the end of the row. And remember, every so often though, to give the colors that you're carrying, to give them a little tug like that. I don't really know if that does anything, but I think that sometimes they pop out the other side, and give them a little tug helps straighten them out. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. All right, so why don't we go? That was the end of row 9. Let's go ahead and start row 10, which is a bobble stitch row. So I'm going to take my white and chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to carry my colors with me. Flip my work around here. Now we're going to do a single crochet in the first 10, but we're going to need to change colors on the 10th stitch. So carry your little cut your colors with you. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10th one we have to switch colors here. So I'm going to switch it over to the pink. So I'm going to go into it, the 9th one, draw up my white, drop it, grab my pink, pull it through. Now the next stitch will be a bobble. Make sure you hide your 2 tag-alongs underneath the bobble. I'm going to pull those tight, and then I have 5 loops on my hook. Drop those, or drop the pink. I'm going to grab my white and pull it through the 5 loops that are on my hook. Give it a tug. Now I'm going to single crochet into the next 2. I'm going to switch colors on my second one. So I'm going to go in, drop a loop, drop the white, and I'm going to pull the blue through this time. That. And pull that white tight, and I'm going to do a bobble into the next stitch, hiding these 2 carry alongs. There's 1. There's 4, 5 loops remain. Drop your blue, bring up your main color, mine is white. Pull it through those 5 loops on my hook. Pull it tight. Then you should have 10 stitches that remain. Go ahead and single crochet into the remaining 10 stitches, carrying along your colors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to give it a tug. 6, 7, 8, 9, and there is 10. So that completes row 10. Row 11, we're working on the front side of our work, so we're going to chain 1 and turn. Remember, the front side is just your main color. You can pull these yarns a little bit to get them a little tighter if you need to. Okay, and 1 single crochet in every stitch, but you got to carry along your colors that you're carrying. So I'm going to work across, putting 1 single in every stitch and 1 on top of each of the bobbles until I make it to the end of the row. Alright, so we just finished row 11, and now we're going to start row 12, which is the back side of our work. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, carry our yarn with us. Alright, so now we're going to do a single crochet into the next 11, but we're going to have to switch colors after the 11, so make sure you switch colors on the 11th. So make sure you carry these with you. Okay, I'm coming up to my 11th stitch. Now this is going to be the crossover, so we're only going to use 1 color here. You can choose whether you want to use pink or blue, okay? There's only going to be 1 bobble on this particular round. I'm just going to go with pink. So we're going to, on the 11th stitch, we're going to switch colors, and I'm going to switch it to the pink. It doesn't matter what color you switch it to, but I'm just going to use this pink. And this is how we're going to do the crossover color. Go ahead and pull your pink through. All right, tighten up those. Now we're going to work a bobble, but we're going to work it over 2 stitches, all right? So, okay, we switched our pink. We got these 2 colors. We got to hide these 2 colors underneath the bobble. So we're going to go into that. We're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch and draw up a loop, and yarn over and go to the first 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and go through the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and jump over to the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. And we're going to yarn over again and go in that same stitch, pull up draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and you still have 5 loops that remain, but we worked that bobble over 2 stitches. All right, so that kind of made a decrease. So we're going to drop that pink and we're going to pull the white through like that, tug it tight. Now you should have 11 stitches that remain, so go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 11. This row, you will only have 23 stitches because we took that bobble and we just made it into one. So we could have kind of a distinctive color change there where the ribbon crosses over. But we're going to get it back to 24 on the next row. So remember, you're going to have one less on this row. It'll be 23. All right, there it is. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's our 12th row. I always lose track of the rows. All right, so when we flip it, you can see that we only did one bobble there, but we made a bobble decrease. So like I said, instead of 23 stitches on this, or 24 stitches on this row, you will have 23. But this row only. We're going to fix it right back up to 24 on the next row. So on the next row, which is row 13, which is the front side, we're going to chain one and turn, and this is where we just we use our white, but we still have to carry our two colors with us. Sorry, I didn't get that blue in my last stitch. There we go. Okay. All right. Chain one, turn our work, grab our two colors, and we're going to carry them with us. Now we're going to put one single crochet in every stitch until we get to that bobble. All right, so just kind of work along. If you want to I can give you a little trick here. I guess I should have told you before. If you want to try to hide those colors better, you can try to grab them and hide them in your single crochet. For me, that's just too hard because they're kind of tight down there. So I just leave them. It's not that big of a deal. Well, for me, it's not. So I'm going to do one single crochet in every stitch. When I mean grab them, I mean you would have to go deep in there and grab those two colors that you see and get them underneath your hook and then single crochet them in. You can do that, but I'm not going to do it. So single crochet in every stitch until we get up to this bobble. Do the stitch before the bobble. Now when we get to the bobble, we're going to boost this back up to 24 stitches by putting 2 single crochets in top of the bobble, because since we decreased the bobble last one, we're going to increase it this time. So there's one there and one there. Now I will continue to the end, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch, and you'll be back up to 24 stitches. So that last row is the only row that you will have the 23 stitches instead of 24. I'll meet back up with you at the end. All right, so I made it to the end around 13. Now we're going to continue to do, from here on out, we'll be using both colors of the bobbles. That was the only row that we only put one bobble on, just to try to give a defining crossover of the ribbon. I don't even know what it's going to look like. Like I said, I'm just kind of... I only hope that it's working out because I'm making this up right now as I record it. All right, trying to follow along with the other one, but then I had to change, like I said, I had to change up this row here so I could give a distinctive ribbon cross. Let's hope it works out, right? Okay, so we're going to chain one and turn our work, and we're going to be working with our two colors again, like always, so they got to come along so we can make some bobbles with them. Okay, I'm going to pull them a little bit there. Try to straighten them out. All right. Remember, it ain't going to be perfect. It's fine. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's homemade. I always say this. Even store-bought stuff is never perfect. So don't worry about it. You're doing a great job. I know you are. All right, so why don't we go ahead and start off with a single crochet in the first 10 stitches, but on the 10th one we're going to switch colors. All right, so carrying our 2 colors here, our little tag alongs, that's what I call them. Let's go ahead and work our 10 single crochets, but remember on that 10th one we're going to do a color change. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, I made it up here to my 10th stitch where I need to switch colors. All right, here's what we're gonna do now as far as the ribbon change. I had to think about it for a minute, but whatever color you used as your crossing point, I used pink. I'm going to now use the opposite color going on this side from now on. I hope that makes sense. So this side I started out with pink, and I made pink my crossing point of my ribbon. So now what I'm going to do is switch over to always using blue on this side and then pink on this side. So if you was to use blue as your crossing point, you would do opposite of what you decide to be opposite. I hope that makes sense, and I hope it works out. All right, so I'm going to change colors here to blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, on the 10th one, I'm going to go in it and pull up, and I'm going to drop my white and bring up the blue. Remember, I'm switching colors now, opposites. So I did pink down here, and since I made my center crossover pink, I'm going to make blue on the opposite side of the round part of the ribbon. I hope that makes sense. Probably doesn't. And I didn't even get my pink in that last, or I didn't even get this in here. I'm still on my 10th stitch here. I'm switching colors still. All right. I'll drop the white and bring up my blue. There we go. There we go. There we go. Got it. Now we're going to bobble into the next stitch. Okay? Got it. We're going to bobble. All in a double crochet 4 together, bobble into the next stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 5 loops here, and this is where we drop those and we bring our white through all 5 loops like that, and then we're going to put a single crochet into the next 2, but we're going to switch colors on the second one. So there's 1, and then the next one I'm going to go in, drop a loop, and I'm going to bring a pink bobble now. Man, I hope this looks okay. So go ahead and pull your pink through, and now in the next stitch we will do a pink bobble. Five loops, drop your pink, pull up your main color, for me it's white, and pull them through the 5 loops on your hook. Okay, yes, you should have 10 stitches that remain. Go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 10, carrying your tag alongs as you go. And I'm sorry if I go off camera. It's very hard to look into a camera and crochet. I do my best. Eight, 9, and 10. So remember, we're back up to 24 stitches now. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, row 14. Just gonna start row 15. I'm gonna flip it, and I'm just gonna hope and hope and hope that it looks correct. I don't know. All right, I'm just gonna turn it over. We're gonna start row 15 by chaining 1 and turning our work. Yep. Yep. I think that's going to be okay. Let me look at it for a second. All right, yeah. That's what I needed to do. I'm quite surprised with myself, actually. All right, let's go ahead and do our single crochet in every stitch across, and then putting 1 on top of each of the bobbles. So remember, this is just our single crochet row, carrying along our tag along colors. And make sure you put 1 on each of the bobbles, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of row 15. There we go. I'll see you at the end of the row. All right, I come to the end of row, excuse me, 15. So let's go ahead and start row 16. All right, so we're going to chain 1, turn our work. We're going to bring our tag alongs with us. They got to come wherever we go. All right, now we're going to do a single crochet into the next 9, but we are going to switch colors on the 9th one. So make sure you grab both of your little tag alongs. Here we go. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I bet yours looks great. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now remember, on the 9th one we have to switch colors, and don't forget that we did switch our bobbles. Now I'm doing blue now up here on this side first, and pink over here. When we did the part of the ribbon down here, I started with pink, but we just got to do opposite now, depending on, you know, what color you use for your crossover bobble. All right. So I'm going to switch colors here to blue on my 9th single crochet. So I'm going to go in to that 9th one, draw up a loop, and I'll be using blue this time. And let me get those 2 colors down here so I can pull the blue through. There we go. And I'm going to hide these 2 underneath the bobble. So bobble into the next stitch. Just 1. Pull those. I'm going to pull that. So we got 5 stitches there that remain. We drop the blue, bring up our main color for me, which is white, go through all 5 like that, and then we are going to put a single crochet into the next 4, changing color on the 4th one. Just 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to, on the 4th one, I'm going to change to pink. So I pull my white through, drop my white, bring up my pink, like that. There we go. And then I will bobble into the next stitch. You got 5 loops on your hook. Drop the pink, bring up your main color for me, which is white. Pull it through those 5 loops, give it a tug, and you should have 9 stitches that remain. Go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 9. And there is 9. All right, let me pull them a little tight there. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 34, 16. Row 16 is what we're on. All right, row 17 is the using just your main color. Row 17. Using your main color, chain 1 and turn, but you still got to carry along your tag alongs here. All right, so pull them a little tighter there. Okay, carrying them along, 1 single crochet in every stitch, and make sure that you get 1 on top of each of the bobbles. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of row 17. Right, so I made it to the end of round 17. Let's go ahead and start round 18, which is where we got to do bobbles. We're going to chain 1 and turn, carry our 2 colors with us. This time we're going to do a single crochet into the next 8, but we need to switch colors on the 8th one. So let's begin. 1, make sure you got your colors with you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to switch here on my 8th one, and I'm working blue this time on this side, so I got to switch it to the blue. I'm going to go in with the white, pull it up, drop the white, bring up my blue, and pull it through. Tug that white to pull it down. All right, now I'm going to put a bobble into the next stitch. Got my 5 loops, drop my blue, bring up my main color, which is white. Pull it through those 5 loops, like that. Now I'm going to do, now I'm going to do a single crochet into my next 6, changing colors on my 6th single crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to change colors here to pink on my 6th one. So pull my white through, drop it, pull my pink through, and I'm going to do a bobble into the next stitch. I got 5 loops. I'm going to drop my pink, and I'm going to pull my main color, my white, through all 5 loops. Give it a tug, and then you should have 8 stitches that remain, single crochet in the remaining 8. Make sure I pull my colors all the way through. There we go. All right. That's row 18. All right, row 19 is we just do chain 1 and turn, and we do the 1 single crochet in every stitch in our main color. Remember to carry your 2 colors along, all right? And don't forget to go on top of the bobbles. 1 single crochet on top of the bobbles. So I'm going to continue along. until I make it to the end of the row. Alright, so I finished row 19 and we're going to start row 20, which would be our bobble row. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, carry our yarn along, and we're going to do single crochet into the next 7, but we're going to change colors on the 7th one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm gonna change colors here on my 7th to blue, drop my white, grab my blue, pull it through, oops, those 2 loops. Now I gotta pull that white and pink down there and hold it there, and I gotta bobble into the next stitch with the blue. Five loops on my hook. I'm going to drop my blue, pick up my main color, and pull it through all those 5 loops. That, give it a little tug. Now I'm going to single crochet into the next 8, changing color on my 8th one. There's 7, so here's my 8th one, so I got to switch colors. I'll grab my white, pull it through, drop it, and grab my pink. Pull it through like that, and I'm going to pull those tight, those 2 colors, and then I'm going to do a bobble into the next. Five loops on my hook, drop it, bring up your main color, white for me, pull it through all 5 loops, give it a little tug, should have 7 stitches that remain, carrying your yarn along with you, single crochet in the remaining 7. Now let me look and see if I need to pull these yarns to make them a little tighter. There we go. Okay, there's that. Okay, that was row 20. So row 21 is the single crochet row on the front. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, carrying our yarn with us. 1 single crochet in every stitch in your main color, including your one single crochet on top of each of the bobble, just like before. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of row 21. All right, I've made it to the end of round 21. Let's go ahead and do round 22, which is the bobble row. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, carry our yarns with us, and we're going to do 7 single crochets in a row again, just like we did on the last bobble row, switching colors on the 7th one. So this is round 22. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's switch colors on the next one to blue on the 7th one. So I'm going to go into it, draw up my white, drop the white, bring up my blue, and pull those 2 colors down here so I can crochet them under that bobble. So we're going to bobble into the next stitch. Five loops on our hook. Drop that color and bring in your main color, which is white for me. Yarn over and go through all 5 loops. Now we're going to a single crochet into the next 8, switching colors on our 8th one. Okay, my 8th one's coming up. I'm going to switch colors to pink. There we go. Pull these 2 tails down so I can hide them. I'm going to bobble into the next stitch with my pink. Five loops, drop them. Bring up your main color and go through all 5. Give it a little bit of a tug and you should have 7 stitches that remain. Single crochet in the remaining 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there is 7. Let me see if I need to pull some of these tight. I do. Now if you notice these 2 bobbles from the last 2 bobble rows, they're on top of each other. They're not, these 2 are not supposed to be cocked out, all right? They're supposed to be on top of the, that's why we did 7 on each side twice. So that's normal. Don't worry about that. Let me pull this pink a bit. If I can get it straightened out a little bit here. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and start the next row. (23), which is going to be all single crochet of your main color. Chain 1 and turn, but you got to carry your other 2 colors right along with you. Your tag-alongs. All right. Single crochet in every stitch, and remember to put single crochet on top of each of those bobbles and to carry your yarn right along. All right, so I'll meet back up with you at the end of this row. All right, so I made it to the end of row 23. Let's go ahead and start 24, which is our bobble row. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to carry our yarn along with us. Now we're going to single crochet into the next 8 stitches, changing color on the 8th one. Make sure you carry your right along with your yarn 1. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here's my 8th one. I'm going to switch colors to blue on my 8th single crochet. So I'm going to pull my blue through and get these situated so I can hide them under. The next stitch is a bobble. Five loops, drop that, bring in my main color and pull it through all 5 loops like that. Give it a tug, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 6, changing colors on our 6th one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's my 6th one. So I'm going to change colors here to pink, drop my white, pull my pink through, get these 2 colors down here tight and situated, and I can hide them in the hide them underneath the next stitch, which is a bobble. That got 5 loops there. Drop the pink, grab my main color, and go through all 5 loops like that. Okay, you should have 8 stitches that remain, and single crochet in the remaining 8. Sorry, I'm going to redo this bobble. It didn't turn out correctly. I make mistakes. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Okay. There we go. Drop the white. Or drop the pink, pull the white through, and then we're going to go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 8. Sorry about that mess up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's 8. Let me flip it, see if I need to pull my pink and blue a little bit tighter there. All right, there is that. Now we're going to flip it and start our single crochet row. This is 24, so we're getting ready to start on row 25, and we will flip our work, or chain 1, turn our work, and this will be the 1 single crochet in every stitch. Remember to carry your colors along until we get to the end of our row. All right, so we made it to the end of the row. We're gonna start our last bobble row. We're going to chain 1 and turn, bring our colors with us, and we are going to single crochet into the first 10 switching colors on the 10th single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I need to switch colors on my 9th or my 10th one, so that's this one coming up. And I'm going to switch it to blue since I'm working on the blue side. So I'm going to go into the 10th one, drop a loop, bring up my blue, go through those 2, and then tighten up your 2 stitches, or these 2 chains here, strings, 2 pieces of yarn, and we're going to bobble into the next. 5 loops, drop it, bring up your main color, pull it through those 5 like that, single crochet into the next 2, changing colors on the second one. So there's 1, and then the next one I'm going to switch colors to pink. And get them tight, and then I'm going to bobble into the next. Okay. There's 4, 5 loops. I'm going to drop that and bring my white through. Go all through all 5. And then you should have 10 stitches that remain. Go ahead and single crochet in the remaining 10. There we go. Now let me flip it. Pull on some of these, get them correct. Alright, so there's our ribbon. Maybe not the best I could have done, but I think it looks okay. Now we got to straighten it. And just try our best here. So I'm going to go and I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn my work. Now I'm going to start off in this. I'm not going to do anything with these right now. I'm just going to leave them hanging, okay? Leave them hanging. I'm going to be working with my white. And in this very first stitch here, I'm going to work 3 single crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to over here to the next corner. So I'm working like kind of like a border of it, I guess. Make sure you go on top of your bobble. All right, when you get to the corner over here, the last stitch here, we're going to put 3 single crochets into that stitch. Now we're going to work across the side here, which is not good looking. Well, mine doesn't look very good, but let's try to clean it up. Let's try to evenly space out single crochets along the rows. So I'm just going to go along and kind of at the end of every row in between the second stitch and the last stitch, I'm just going to like put a single crochet there. But you do your best to excuse me, evenly space out the stitches in your row. You know, the best that you can. All the way down. It's not going to hide all the tails or all the color, but hopefully it'll hide some of it. I hope. So I'm going to continue down until I make it to all the way down here to my next or my last corner here, or this corner down here. All right, so I made it all the way down here to the bottom, and now I got all these tails here. This is where we started. I'm going to hide them as I go. And in the first stitch here on the bottom row, I'm going to put 3 single crochets in it. I'm going to try to hide that tail hide all those tails as I go. There's 2, and there's 3, and I'm going to continue across the bottom, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch, just kind of hiding those tails as I go. So I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around until I make it back up to my starting point. I'm just putting 1 single crochet in every stitch, and then 3 single crochets in each of the corners. So I only have this corner left, and then I'll go all the way up the side, and then we'll be back at our starting point. All right, so I have made it all the way around, and I am 1 stitch away from my starting stitch. You might notice that it is a little taller than it is wider. Well, mine is. And the reason why that is because you're carrying so many colors, it tends to get tight. Let's hope that we can fix that, all right? Let's see what we can do about that. All right, so I'm 1 stitch away from being at the beginning, and I'm going to switch colors right here at this last stitch. So I'm going to go into the last stitch on the side. I'm going to draw up a loop. Now you could switch to any one of these colors that you want. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to grab the pink since it's right here and pull it through like that. So now we've finished that row. All right. So we're going to start a new row. So before I do that, I'm going to get rid of some of this yarn because it's like all knotted up over here. That's why I don't like working with so many yarns. Done with the white for now. I'm clipping it up, but leave, you know, a tail that you can sew in. And we're going to use the blue later, so I'm going to clip it off. Leave a tail, though, that you can sew in. Now, we're just going to be working with the pink for just a little bit. So I just only have my pink on the hook. All right, yay. All right, so what I'm going to do is, here is the first single crochet that we did. We're at our starting point. With the white, we put 3 in the first stitch. What we're going to do now is I'm going to, if you want to use, well, you don't need to use a stitch marker because we're using a different color. I'm just going to go into that first stitch and single crochet like that. Okay. Now the next stitch is the center of the 3 single crochets that we put in this corner. I'm going to put 3 single crochets into that center single crochet. Now I'm going to work across. I'm not even going to hide those. I'll hide those tails later with a needle. And I'm going to work across, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. Until I get to my next corner over here. All right. The center where we put 3 single crochets in it, I'll meet you in the middle stitch of those 3 single crochets. So go ahead and put 1 single crochet across until you get over here. All right, so I have made it. Here is where we put 3 single crochets before I went into the first one. Now the middle one of that group of 3, did I go into the first one? I didn't. Just 1 second. All right, the middle one of that group of 3, let's put 3 single crochets into that. Now what I'm going to do on the sides, and I hope it helps to make it a little bit wider on the sides, because like I said, when you carry yarn, especially multiple ones, they tend to tighten up. So if you can always do a good blocking on it as well. But what I'm going to try to do is, I'm going to do, instead of single crochets down the side, I'm going to work half doubles. Hopefully it won't be too much of a difference. Now, if you don't like the looks of this, you can just do single crochet, and then I think a good blocking of the square would make it more square, not so rectangle. But that's just an option. But I'm going to go down the sides with half doubles, just to make them a little bit. I hope it looks okay. Remember, I'm just winging it. I don't even know. I mean, I know why it became taller, because I carried my yarn probably too tight. That's probably what happened. Remember, I'm doing half doubles down the sides. hopefully it'll look okay, and in accordance to the single crochet. It doesn't look, hopefully it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to be switching colors up here though to blue. All right, so I'm at my 3 single crochets that are in the corner here. So here's the first one, second one, third one. Now the middle one is the one that we want to put, let me look here, three single crochets into. But I'm going to do excuse me, a color change here. So I'm going to go into the next one, and I'm going to single crochet into it with my pink. So I'm going to yarn, go into it and pull up a loop, and I'm going to bring my blue yarn in here and pull it through. So I did a single crochet there, right? Now I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to tie the tail of my pink and my blue in a little knot so it doesn't slip away. So now I'm going with just one color again, and it's blue. I'm at the middle stitch of my group of 3, and I'm going to work 3 single crochets into that middle stitch. I'm going to try to hide these tails as I go. Now since I'm working on the bottom here, I'm going to work just single crochets. 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to my next corner. Just like this. So now I'm at the corner here. There's 3 single crochets here. I'm going to go into the first one with a single crochet. The middle one, 3 single crochets. And then we're going to start working half double up the sides here. So the last stitch of the corner is going to get a half double. And I'm going to work 1 half double in every stitch up this side until I make it to my starting point. So remember, half double up the sides, single crochets on the top and the bottom. All right, I'm coming here to the end. I'm going to put a half double right here where I started at single, at pink single. And then I'm going to end by slip stitching into my first single crochet there. Second one, first one. You know, somewhere around there. I'm going to clip that off. Okay, now I'm going to give it some stretchings. And I'm going to hide any remaining tails that I have, and let me look at it and see how it looks. All right, here's the finished product. Am I happy with it? Not particularly. Let's take a measurement. We got 7.5. Shoot. By 8.5. See, it's not completely square. Okay, so what you can do to fix that, I think, would be giving a nice blocking by stretching the sides nice and tight when you block. Hopefully that'll fix it. I'm not extremely excited about this one. I mean, I think the ribbon and everything looks okay. It's just the fact that I pulled these too tight when I went, so I will mention that in the beginning to try not to do that. That was my downfall, but that's it. I hope that you enjoy this rectangle. Remember, if you make this, you show me a picture on my Facebook page, and you can make it any color you want, and I'm certain that yours will look a lot better than mine and be more square. So thanks everybody for watching. Okay, bye guys.